are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope you like the new digs, the new setup. Although I will be doing, for the first video in this setting, I will be doing kind of a serious video because I felt like this needed to get out there. I wasn't going to do this video because I do have a lot of family that follows this account and it wasn't ever something that I wanted them to know about. In fact, it happened when I lived with my family and it's the reason I never did anything about it. But that being said, it is something that we all as women, if we've been affected, should be talking about and shouldn't be holding in. This is something that I've been holding in for years. Very, very few people, I think only 4 people in this entire world know about this. And that says a lot because a lot of people know a lot of things about me, but I want to share my story for anyone who feels like they're in silence, for anyone who feels like they can't share or they shouldn't share. It is the most liberating feeling to be able to share this experience and this story with others. I learned that not too long ago with my friend. We're gonna call her Betty. I do want to hide her identity in this video just because of the premise of our stories, because her story is going to tie into mine and how her story affected me, telling her more about mine. And actually for the first time in my life, after about 4 or 5 years crying about the experience, because I feel like I denied it and didn't fully release all the feelings I was keeping in because of it. Like I said, this is a very touchy and personal subject for me. I'm not comfortable talking about this, but I feel like a lot of people aren't, so that's why I wanted to get it out there. So please be respectful on this topic. It is going to be probably the hardest video for me to make, unless something more messed up happens to me in the future, but let's get right into the video. So the story begins in 2014. I was 20, turning 21. In Canada, you're allowed to drink when you're 19. I was in my partying phase. I graduated from college in 2014, so I went out a lot. Almost every weekend, if not every weekend. For a very long time, I blamed myself for what happened to me because of this, because I did go out a lot. I did put myself in dangerous situations, but that is the most typical symptom, is to blame yourself and the guilt and everything that comes along with it, and never telling anybody because of that. But although I was in my partying phase and my drinking phase and all of that, I did have my limits. I was safe with my decisions. I am a lightweight, so whenever I drink, I do know where I'm at instantly because it hits me right away. I never drank to the point where like I didn't know I would get to a certain point, and when I knew I was gonna, you know, not make good decisions with my alcohol, I made plans in order to be safe at the end of the night and not end up God knows where. I was never the type to constantly black out drunk or get kicked out of a bar or vomit. Like that was never my thing. Like I was always in control of my actions and in control of how much alcohol intake I had. I was single at the time, so I was just having fun and meeting new people. Now, this is where the fun takes a very scary turn. One of the nights we went out, me and my best friend at the time, and before we went out, we were drinking coolers, like vodka coolers of some sort. At first I think we had planned on just drinking those, but then we decided to do vodka shots. And you know the drill, like you're going out with your girl or you get ready and then you start drinking, and then by the time you're drinking, you look at the time and you're like, oh my goodness, there's gonna be a long line if we don't leave right now, so let's chug 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 before we go. So we did that and I was fine. I was drunk, but I was aware of my surroundings and everything. So yeah, we're taking vodka shots and we're chasing them with vodka coolers. We call a cab, get in the cab, go to the bar. So we're waiting in line and we just so happen to meet these really nice French guys in the line, because we always did this thing where like we just like would hit on like any cute guys in line and then get in further in the line. Some people hated that, but that's how we got around in order to not wait an hour long or a 2-hour long line. We're talking with these guys. I told the one guy how we speak French when we were practicing French, and it was all in good fun and it was awesome, and it was what young girls do. It was what we were into at the time. Flirting, you know, getting to know people, meeting new people and whatnot. So we go in the bar and we're dancing and my friend goes to the washroom. This is where it starts getting blurry. I don't completely remember if it was the French guys that got us the drinks or we got ourselves the drinks, but there was a moment where I made the mistake of having unsupervised drinks. And that was something my parents always warned me about. They always were like, you always have to watch out for your drinks. Never, like, let a guy pour your drink or get your drink for you without you seeing or whatever. But it happened. I don't even remember what drink it was, but shortly after that, I don't remember anything. My night was completely gone from my memory. I did not know anything. I didn't know what was going on. The only reason I know what happened this night was because of where I woke up. So I wake up and I look up at the ceiling the next day. I don't know where I am. I can feel that I have no clothes on. I'm laying down and I look beside me. Complete stranger. Complete and utter stranger. He was Asian. Not like this matters, but just to give you context of what I was seeing. Yeah, I don't know. I sit up and I start looking on my phone, like trying to message my friend, see where she is, and this guy wakes up. Hi, how are you? He says. And I said, who are you? Why am I here? And he just asks, what do you mean? You don't remember anything? No. Where's my friend? When? Why? When did I leave? How did we leave? How did we get here? What is this? His story, I don't know to this day what actually happened, but his story was that I had gotten kicked out and I puked. So first I blacked out, which never happens. Then I puked in the bar, which never happens. And then I got kicked out of the bar and was at the pizza store right side the bar. And he says, that's where I found you. And I thought, oh no, I can't leave you there. I'm going to take you home. So I'm like, what did this, and he says, yeah, you really enjoyed it. I didn't even know what to say. I was so scared. I was so ashamed. I felt so disgusting. I didn't know what to do. I was contacting my friend to meet up with her. I wanted to get out of there. I was like, I need to leave. And for some reason he was like, oh, I'll come with you. And I said, okay. At this point, I didn't even know what to say, what to do, how to act. So I get dressed. We go downstairs. My friend tells me she's at some guy's house, and she says they're gonna come pick me up. And they come pick us up. I don't know at this point why this guy is coming with me. But as soon as my friend pulls in with the guy she was with, I just give her this look like, And she knew. Like, she was like, oh no. And so I'm like, okay, bye. And he's like, no, I'm coming. I was frozen. He was on a mission. And soon enough, I come to find out what that mission was. We get in the car. He starts talking to the guy who's driving. And he says, can we please go to a Shoppers Drug Mart? It's a pharmacy, if you don't know. My guy friend says, sure. We go to the drugstore. We park in the parking lot. And I'm just thinking, I just want to go home. What are we doing? Why am I here? Why me? Why did this happen to me? Who is this guy? Should I call the cops right now? Like, all sorts of things are running through my head. And then we park the car, like I said, in the parking lot. I think I already said that. It's Father's Day, and I just wanted to get home and take a shower and just forget about it and just go on with my life. As I'm thinking all of this, he says, okay, you wait here. I'm going to get us plan B. I'm numb. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was just there. The two boys get out of the car. They go in the drugstore. And my friend looks at me and says, what happened? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea who that is. I am so scared. And this is when actual feelings started coming in. I wasn't numb anymore. I was scared for my life. I did not want to be there. I did not want him to be there. I didn't want to be in that car. But I did nothing. I just took it as it came. And they came back in the car. He handed the plan B to me. We drove him home. He drove us home. And I remember taking one of those plan Bs. I was just so disgusted. The prominent feeling after we were home at my friend's house. I was just disgusted. I felt so gross. I hated myself. I was so ashamed and felt so guilty for what had happened. I said it's all my fault. I shouldn't have gone out. I shouldn't be going out so much. I felt like it was my fault. And I took that plan B. And I was at the point where I felt so grossed out. I just ran to the bathroom and puked. I just puked my guts out. I was so disgusted. And I wasn't feeling sick. I wasn't feeling hungover. I was fine. I was like a little bit dizzy, but I think this is the first and only time that I've actually vomited in my life where I was just that grossed out with myself. Not with men, not with this guy, with myself. And after that, I just carried on. I acted like it never happened. I told no one. I just continued to do what I was doing. That entire summer, I kept partying even harder because of it. I wanted to forget it. I wanted to bury it. I wanted to pretend it never happened. I wanted nothing to do with the thought or feelings of that night. And I just held it in. I just kept it all in. Only very, very close people in my life know about this. 2 best friends at the time, my ex and my boyfriend now. And now my best friend today. I didn't even know his name. I knew where he lived. I didn't know his unit. It was a very big building, but I knew where he lived. But I didn't know his name. And I couldn't say anything. I lived at home. My parents would have killed me. All the shame that would have came with my family finding out would have been way worse for me. Like I just put it under a rug and suppressed it. Suppressed the feelings, suppressed the thoughts, suppressed the entire experience and the fact that it did happen and it was affecting me somewhere very deep down. Recently, my friend went through something similar, not physical, but just as creepy. This is not my story to tell, but long story short, she found out that her neighbor was filming her. And she was telling me this, and I was so upset for her. I was so angry. I could not believe that a man could be so disgusting and invade privacy like that and invade consent like that, or ignore consent. And as she was telling me the story, I just looked at her and cried. We just cried about it, and I told her, I'm like, you have to do something. You have to press charges. I wish I could press charges on the guy that did this to me. I don't even know his name. And I don't know if he's done this again. I don't know how many more victims there have been. And same with this guy that's affecting my friend's life now terribly. We don't know who else their next target is going to be. And if we don't say anything, it's going to continue happening. Like, we don't know. And I feel like there's a stigma around someone being a victim of this, that it's like their fault and it's the girl being naive, and it's not. We should be teaching men that this is not okay, not women, that you shouldn't be a victim of this. Like, it's been 4 years since I was a victim of rape, and for the first time in my life, I cried about it. And it felt good. I finally got that out, and I thought the next step would be to share my story. There is not enough awareness. There is not enough people sharing their story because of shame and guilt, and that is not okay. We need to stand together and help each other and embrace the fact that we are only human, and this was done to us. It is not our fault that there's sick and twisted people out there. There's many movements going on right now that are very inspiring for girl power and just girls' rights. We need to stand together. I've been taking every opportunity I get to make sure I am not degrading towards other women. I am not being catty. I am not gossiping. I've been really, really consciously watching how I think about and talk to and portray other women, because we're all in this together. Like, you tear another woman down, you're tearing yourself down. We are worth so much, and no one deserves to go through this on their own in silence like I have. And I feel like that's the lesson to be learned here. If I could say one thing about this matter or issue, would be, please, please, if you have the information, if you have the evidence, if you've been a victim of any kind of sexual assault or rape or harassment or anything, stalking, please report it. Please press charges. Get their names out there. I wish I could do that. I wish I had that information to be able to do something about it. Even now, even years later, something could be done for this. But I lost my chance. I hope you don't lose yours. And to anyone who feels affected by this, I'll leave in the description box a bunch of information for help and awareness towards this issue, because it's a huge one that we face every single day. Every single woman, I feel like, has gone through something similar, if not something mildly similar. And it's sad. It's really sad that this is still happening. And it's not okay. I don't know what else to say. Stay safe. Find your voice. And stand up for yourself. Don't let yourself be another victim. And if within reasonable grounds you can avoid a dangerous situation like this, please do. I would give anything for that not to have happened to me. But I have finally accepted now that it wasn't my fault, and it happened, and I'm really sad that it did, and I'm really angry that it did, and it's okay to feel those feelings instead of holding it in and being in denial of the entire situation. Please share this video with anyone you know that has been affected by anything like this. Like this video to get it up there into the awareness world. Don't forget to subscribe. This isn't like my normal videos. I usually do way more upbeat, funny videos, but I felt like this was something I needed to get off my chest. I needed to do this. My story has to be told, and so does yours, and so does everybody's. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.